Okay, I get the TLC part, but where's the T part, the L part, and the C part? I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. Hey, new chair. Decided to reward myself for going 4 and 5 in war games. Also, I kind of like this pay-per-view every 2 weeks thing. I kind of like it. I hope they keep going with it. Also, I'm not going by teleprompter this time. I'm going fresh out. Okay, so on to TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, which I still think should be renamed December to Dismember and just have a TLC match or two in it, because when we started TLC, the pay-per-view, it had some TLC matches, but it also had a tables match, a ladder match, and a chairs match. But with things going the way they are lately, I'm guessing they decided to go for longer matches instead of more matches. This is not the same as quantity equating to over quality, or vice versa, actually. It doesn't equate to quality over quantity, because lately the matches haven't exactly been very good. But, you know, I'm optimistic about this lineup. 2 TLC matches with the primary titles on the line, plus 3 other title matches, and this Firefly Inferno match, whatever the heck that is. So let's see if the WWE can end this godforsaken year on a high note. Here are my picks for TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2020. Let's start with said Inferno match, Firefly Inferno match. The Viper, Randy Orton, versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I have no idea what this Inferno match is going to be. I would like to think that it's just a Ring of Fire match, where the winner is determined when the loser catches fire one way or another, in which case, well, Bray Wyatt has a lot more stuff to burn, so why not? But this whole thing with the Fiend and the Viper is really a pretty good way for the Viper to turn face again, or at the very least do an anti-hero like Steve Austin and just, you know, keep doing what he's doing no matter whether he's being cheered or booed, but apparently being cheered. It's certainly not Bray Wyatt being cheered, that's for darn sure, so it's got to be Randy Orton. As for who wins, no matter what the match is, Randy Orton has had experience against Bray Wyatt in matches Bray Wyatt himself has come up with. So, I'd say he's got a pretty good chance. So I'm going to say winner is Randy Orton, regardless of what the match is. Women's Tag Team Championships. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Asuka and... As much as I want Baszler and Jax to lose, I don't see that happening here. And it's a shame that Lana is not going to be part of it, because they've been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing her all this time. And Asuka has really helped her being pushed. From Lana the loser to Lana the fairly lucky winner. But, of course, they were going to destroy Lana and get her out of the way, because she hasn't been anything since her husband split town. And no matter who they get to replace her, chances are it's Dana Brooke, given what happened last Monday. I still don't think there'll be a cohesive team, and even if they are, Baszler and Jax, they have flat out stopped caring about the rules. And even And in a match where losing by disqualification doesn't mean losing your titles, how else would it go? So I'm thinking the winners are Asuka and whoever, I'm thinking Dana Brooke, by disqualification. Because quite honestly, I think we have had our prerequisite of double belted champions this year. Sorry, Asuka. Raw Tag Team Championships. The New Day versus the Hurt Business. As much as I think that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are still very entertaining. I mean, 9-time champions, how cool is that? But even with that, I think it's time for some fresh blood to enter the tag team championship business. And Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, they are most certainly qualified, especially with MVP and Bobby Lashley in their corner. Now that Big E has split from the group and seems to be aiming towards the Intercontinental Championship, at the very least, on SmackDown, Woods and Kingston really don't have anyone else to back them up, so it's essentially a 4-on-2. I doubt the Street Profits will be coming in this time. So unfortunately, the winners are the Hurt Business, and why do I get the feeling this might be the end of the New Day since Xavier Woods is going to go to G4? Who knows? Pardon me again. Women's Championship for what? Yeah, SmackDown Women's Championship. See what happens when I don't use the teleprompter, guys? Sasha Banks defends against Carmella. Alright, folks. Carmella has only had one match in 5 months. And she only won that because Sasha Banks went cuckoo, cuckoo, and got herself disqualified last week. We still don't know Carmella's true potential here. We saw some of it, but Sasha Banks has pure potential right there. She is the champ. And she's been the champ so many times and has been around so many times. She's been around while Carmella was out doing Lord knows what. Getting healed? I don't know. But this is Carmella's truly first time in a pay-per-view Thunderdome, and she doesn't stand a chance, even with her concierge or whoever it is that she has by her side. You know, he might come in and do something, but in the end, I think Sasha Banks is going to see through it, and Sasha Banks is going to win and retain. Come back when you have more experience, Carmella. You don't deserve this match. Winner and still champion, Sasha Banks. Tables, ladders, and chairs match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens. Is it me, or is Kevin Owens, does he seem to be channeling the Fiend and, you know, getting beaten and beaten and beaten and still standing up? Keep fighting, Kevin Owens. You know, as much as I like Kevin Owens, I don't really see this working because, remember, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens in a TLC match, that's no disqualification. Jey Uso can be in the ring if he has to be. Whether Roman Reigns allows it, that's a different story. But Jey Uso can be in the ring and can interfere whenever the heck he wants to. It's only going to take Kevin Owens knocking Jey Uso out for him to at least have a chance. And by that time, Roman Reigns will have climbed the ladder and gotten the Championship. I'm sorry, KO. Better luck next time. Winner is Roman Reigns. Finally, WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre faces AJ Styles. You know, I completely forgot that AJ Styles was the #1 contender. Can you believe that? That's probably because Drew McIntyre is such a force on Raw that it's hard to tell who's the #1 contender, because chances are he's going to win anyway. Now, yes, AJ Styles has had experience with the tables, ladders, and chairs match, whereas Drew McIntyre really hasn't. Plus, AJ Styles has Omos, or whatever he's called, in his side, and you better believe he's going to finally flex his muscle and interfere in this match if he has to. But remember, Drew McIntyre has someone else in his corner. Sheamus. I'm sure Sheamus will be watching back there. Whether he interferes or not, well, then we'll really see who this best friend deal is, you know? We'll see if these two really are best mates. And either way, I get the feeling it might turn into McIntyre versus Sheamus at Royal Rumble. Who knows? But in any case, I think Drew is tough enough to survive TLC and even a 2-on-1 if necessary. Winner and still champion Drew McIntyre. Those are my picks. Oh, by the way, I'm not doing a 2020 best worst video, because let's face it, this year as a whole has been the worst, not just in general, but for sports entertainment specifically. So since it's all worst, why bother doing a best worst thing? So have a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate, and I'll see you next year for the New Year's Evil stuff. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blog, who always tells it like it is. Stay safe, and I'll see you.